welcome to the Cowboys LA Radio. I'm your host, Eric Trujillo. Well, it's been a while. With the short weeks and the Thanksgiving and everything that happened so quickly, and with my career, it just kind of came up on me so quickly that before I knew it, two games were up and I hadn't done a podcast. And the last time we talked, I talked about Tony Romo and the disrespect that Jerry Jones was giving him. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's been tough for me to win without him. I mean, I love winning, but something inside of you says, "Man, it just feels wrong." And I'm getting used to it. Just like I think Tony Romo was getting used to it. If you watch closely behind the scenes, it looks like little by little he's starting to just get used to it. They always show him with the serious face, but eventually he's gonna get used to being the backup and start enjoying the victories as well. And if you watch the FX, the sound effects, you can see it in the background. He's clapping it. He's clapping for the team. He's giving them high fives. So it's just something getting used to a team winning without Tony. And Dak, the last two games, man, there's been some passes where yes, has he missed reads? Yep, but he's made some really good passes. To Cole Beasley, there was somewhere just going towards the right side of the field, just dime rolling out. So there's things there that are making me think, okay, he might not see the open man all the time, but he has the ability to thread the needle, and so he is playing great. And uh, if Tony supports him, if everybody's I support our team. I support Dak. I think he's a great kid. I think I just felt that. I still feel that Tony Romo was a better QB at the time, but this is what the team's going with, and this is what I'm gonna go with. Whatever the team's doing to win, then it's okay by me, as long as they make the right decision. You know, and we're not the professionals. We'll leave it to them, and if they think that that gives them the best chance, even at this point, then we'll just have to sit back and watch, right? Now, the Redskins game was a bit scary because it exposed something that I think we Cowboy fans already knew, that our defense isn't very good. It's a little suspect, especially in the passing game, with Kirk putting up 500 yards. Now, I hate to say it, but Kirk Cousins played lights out. He didn't play like he played last time. If he would have played like that the last time in Washington, we would be 9-2. Now, I think they are the best passing team in the NFL, though. That combination of Garcon, Jackson, Reed, and Crowder, which I wanted the Cowboys to draft, is amazing. And then Kirk is doing a great job. So, do I think everyone would do that to us? No, I really don't. But it's possible that it puts things on tape that people say, okay, we can do this. But if you notice, it's almost like the defense is saying, okay, go ahead, catch 5 yards, catch 10 yards. We're gonna make you take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, and then we're gonna take 7 minutes off with our run game, and you're only gonna see the ball twice and a half. And I think it's very well done strategically. Coach Garrett and Marinelli, it's literally a team victory. Is what they're doing. It's part of their plan. Eat up the clock. You go ahead, pass the ball all day. We'll tackle you inbounds. We'll give you the short yardage. We'll make you drive 100 yards down the field. And I believe Cousins threw 52 times, and we didn't get a pick, but it's bound to happen. He was on point that day on Thanksgiving, but the next game against tonight, playing the Vikings, that might not be the case for Bradford. On the offensive side, we ran and we passed when we had to, and that's exactly what we should keep doing. And I think I realized something. There's that route that everyone keeps showing where Dez got Norman, and I was upset at the time. I was like, man, that's 7. But as I look later at the tape, there's a safety back there. So maybe being Dez, it's a good chance he comes down with it. But I think Dak is that kind of player that he's going to live to play another day, as opposed to going for that shot. If that's 9, yeah, he's going for it. But I think we've learned that number 4's greatest asset is he may not make all the reads, but he also He's going to be a little more conservative with the ball because he knows he can hand it off, he can run it himself, and they're going to be okay. So that leads us into the Vikings game. Offensively, the man, they have no run game, so they're pretty much all they could do is try to pass. That's what I see that they're gonna have to try to do. We could get Sam Bradford on point, who's hitting every pass. We could get Sam Bradford who's not, and we know that it's possible for them to score on this. Now on the defensive side, they have a great defense, but I'll tell you this: they can't stop the run. At this point, I'm pretty confident in our run game, where I kind of feel like, I'll look at the tape and say, no, they can't. As much as they want to, they won't be able to stop Zeke. They won't be able to stop the O-line. If they come up with a plan somehow, some way to be able to stuff the run, then okay, then we got a game because their pass defense is really good. With the three DBs that they got back, the three corners they got back, the two safeties, T Newman, uh, and Rhodes, Harrison Smith, and Sendejo, who used to be a Cowboy, looked awful, but and Trey Waynes. I'm gonna never forget the great corner. He's a very good corner. They have a very good pass defense. Anthony Barr can drop back. Kendricks can drop back. So if they can somehow muster and find a way, with Timmy Jernigan and them boys, and find a way to maybe run blitz, stack the box, overload, and force us to pass, and I think we're gonna be in for a game. But I've said that the last couple of times, and no one's been able to do it. And I'm at a point where I don't know if anybody can, except for somebody, and I'll get into that in a second. So tonight, that's what I'm looking for. Without Coach Zimmer's out, he had an emergency retinal detachment. It sounds like he had his detachment on the first, and with those kind of things, you actually have to rest. Personal experience, you can't be moving around, and so he had his retinal detachment, he had his surgery, and then he just went back to practice, and that's not how it works. So I expect it to be things to be a little bit tougher on them without their head coach, and also expect Coach Zimmer. I respect Coach Zimmer. I remember him as a Cowboy coach, and always wish that we'd bring him back. But I'm glad that he's doing well, and just for his own health, he should be out a couple of weeks because with that you need to rest. You need to be laying down, no movement. They put a gas bubble in the eye that holds the retina back against the wall, and you hope for it to heal. But if you keep moving around and practicing, that's not going to happen. So he's had 3 detachments in this month, and that's due to it not being allowed to heal. So he's not going to be at today's game, and hopefully for his own health, he takes some time off and allows that to heal up. Now there's a couple of things I want to talk about, and I hate to get through that Vikings game like that, but honestly, the last 2 games and the reasons for for no podcast was, I was getting acclimated, and truly and sincerely, because I love to be honest, I was getting acclimated with no Romo, and I know we've had Dak for the whole season, but I thought for sure by Thanksgiving I'd see him back and we'd get on the Super Bowl run because I do think he's still the better QB of the two. Um, and so it was hard for me, it was hard for me to kind of just get used to it. I think slowly but surely I'm getting there because I see the victories are still coming. The formula that they're using is still winning. It's run the ball, run the ball, run the ball with Dak when you can also, and don't throw interceptions. And with Tony, you're gonna get 35 points 35 points, 400 yards passing, but he's gonna throw you a pick or two. I know that, and I'll always admit that. He's just that kind of gunslinger. Um, so it's tough for me, but more than anything, I felt like this last game was going to be an easy game. I hate to say it, but I really felt like, they weren't going to be able to stop the run. And I feel that tonight will be the same kind of game. It'll be a game where they won't be able to stop the run. And when you can't do that to us, even if you can pass, you're in for a long night because you saw the Redskins do it. You saw them score. You saw them go down there and get it done. We tighten up around the red zone. We make you waste your own clock, and we run the ball, and we score every time we get in that. We score almost every time we get in the red zone with a touchdown. So it's a killer recipe that they're messing with, and that leads me into the next thing, thinking about the future. Play we can clinch playoffs this week with the victory tonight and a Bucks or Redskins loss. Um, I'd hope for both. I really don't want to see the Redskins again. I don't want to see the Giants again. I don't want to see any of our divisional rivals in the playoffs because that can definitely be something that will work against us. It's just the way that it goes. I'm looking at the playoffs and who's going to make it on the other end. Um, it looks like a three-team race on the other side. Chiefs, Patriots, and Raiders. Broncos, maybe. Maybe they're not in the playoff picture at the moment, unfortunately. But maybe Broncos. Trevor Siemian, I think, is reminding me of a little Romo there. A guy who's actually was a seventh round pick, was an undrafted, who you wouldn't expect to do well and is slowly and surely starting to get better. But it's a three-team race on that end, and I still believe the Patriots will be the team that whoever makes the Super Bowls on the NFC side is gonna face. But hey, I may be wrong. Um, the Texans are not a very good team, and I hate to say stuff like that, but Raiders to me have not shown that their defense is good enough and their offense is good enough to stop to be able to stop Tom Brady. Now on our side, it looks like it's going to be the New York Giants that are actually, I'm going to say it right now. They're if they can beat the Steelers this week, it changes everything because um, we have a tough stretch, with the Bucks beating the Seahawks, the Lions being on top of the division, and New York and the Eagles still on the schedule, and then of course the Vikings tonight. Nothing is promised, but that's the team I worry about because that's the team that can stop the run without having to blitz. I hate to say it, but they can. They went out there and they drafted to stop, and they signed free agents to stop the Cowboys, and they are kryptonite. They are the Cowboys' kryptonite, and I hate to say it because they got big boys up front. They could just clog the run game and go toe to toe with ours. Landon Collins is playing out of his mind. He's a great safety, and then they got two corners that can cover. And if you want to add Eli Apple, they have three. So they're the team that can slow down our offense, and then they can exploit our pass. They can exploit our pass defense. I hate to think of the Giants getting through. So the only thing we can do is hope that we finish off the season. I truly and surely believe that we can finish off the season 13-3 with I think a loss to the Redskins. I'm sorry, a loss to the Giants, just because of matchup issues. And maybe we drop one somewhere along the line, one we don't expect. Maybe the last game that's locked up against the Eagles, 13-3 would be my prediction. Um, but everyone else in the playoffs, to be honest with you, doesn't scare me. Atlanta can't stop us, and we'll even if they put points up on us, it'll be similar to the Redskins game. Atlanta won't be able to stop Zeke in our run game. Um, Everyone says the Seahawks still is the way to go through. I don't know because I think we could run on the Seahawks, and if you can run on them, then we won't have to pass. It'll be kind of similar to what we're going to see tonight. So tonight, yeah, it could give you a little insight to how it would be to play the Seahawks, except Seahawks with Russell is way better. Um, I wouldn't want to see the Redskins again simply because maybe next time they'll say, hey, you know what? We're just going to leave everyone in the box and just go one-on-one matchups with your receivers and Wit. Other than that, I mean, I can't really think. I'm not scared of the Lions. We're gonna see them. I'm not scared of the Bucks. We're gonna see them this year if they sneak in. There's really nobody that I think the Cowboys should fear except for their own team, which is their own division, which is the Giants. They're the only team I think that's a kryptonite that's stopping us from getting into that Super Bowl. That's gonna do it for today. I'll see you guys next week after the game. Maybe this weekend. Get a little recap over tonight's game. Have a great night. Enjoy the game. Remember, it's at 5:30 today. Have a good one.